Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we've got a short video about a very important feature of Battleship New Jersey. And we've talked about it to a lesser extent in other videos, and we might have even done a video exclusively on this years ago. But it's been a while since we visited this subject and we've gotten some new stuff. So today we are talking about battle lanterns again. Now you can see I am flanked on either side in this doorway by different types of battle lanterns. First and most importantly, battle lanterns are the emergency lighting on the battleship, and all Navy vessels for that matter. So you see many battle lanterns like this one here are wired directly into power. It's still got a switch on it so you can turn it on and off if you need to, but it's getting power from the ship. It's getting power because it's the emergency light. It's not taking that power to turn on with. These are actually battery powered. It's getting that power so it can sense if the power goes out. So if we lose electricity in this space, power will stop going to the battle lantern and it will switch on automatically. We've actually seen that happen on board before when we've had various power outages. You can hear the click of the internal switch being thrown and it'll start trying to come on. This makes a light, and you can see it's right here in the doorway, so it's illuminating both this ladder well that's right in front of us, and it's throwing enough light that you can see this doorway and the doorway that you're coming into in this passageway. So this is the one emergency light for the entire space. On some museum ships, depending on the overseeing safety body, you can even keep these running and use them as the emergency lights on the vessel. They sort of get grandfathered in. On Battleship New Jersey, we're not allowed to. We have to install more modern exit lights and emergency lights than this. But some ships do continue to use their originals. These are powered by two 6-volt dry cell batteries, and they've got a gasket around the face so that they're completely watertight. They're pressurized, so you could submerge this in water and it will still put off light. So if you're, say, going into a flooding space, you can use this. If you're trying to escape from the sinking ship, it's still going to be giving you light. These two 6-volt dry cells are supposed to give you 24 hours of light, and if you need more than that, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. That said, I've definitely had some of these that power's gone out and they have not lasted that long because the batteries have deteriorated. I've had some of these that power's gone out and they've lasted for 3, 4, 5 days. Although the light starts to get dim, they will stay on. It really depends on the battery. Now this type you can see is wired in. Over here we've got another one, and the one in my hand for that matter. These have handles instead of a place to be wired in. These are more like flashlights, and they're mounted on brackets around the ship so that if there is an emergency, you lose power. This is lighting up the way to the exit, but maybe you need to go into a smoke-filled space or flooding space for damage control purposes, and so you can grab this one off of the wall and go. They've got a bracket on the back like this one. It slots into a hole at a 90-degree angle, and then it rotates to stay in place. Notice that this one is mounted right here with this rack filled with shoring timbers. So it's a place where damage control men would come when the ship takes damage. And so they've got this here so that that repair party can grab it and go at the same time. This old metal one is the type that the ship would have been equipped with in World War II. We got this in an open house a number of years ago. You can see it's got an incandescent bulb in it. It's got the switch in a different place. You would remove this face to change the bulb out. You would remove this handle on top, either to put a new top on it for if it was going to be wired in, or to change the batteries out. This is the type that you see almost exclusively on the battleship nowadays. There are a couple of areas that maintain this old type, like inside the powder flats. But most of the ship got this new type. You can see it is plastic. It is painted in a high visibility color like most other emergency things on the ship. although there are a couple of spaces where these are gray or they've been painted the same color as the room, but more often than not, they are this bright yellow color. And you can see that there's one opening here. You take it off and that will allow you to access both the bulb for changing it and the battery compartment on the inside. And then there's this one, which we got on one of our more recent open houses over at the Navy Yard. And this is the newest type. It's almost identical, uses the same type of connections at the top for either handle or wired in, uses the same kind of plastic body, but they've replaced the faceplate. You might even be able to see that this faceplate is a slightly different color than the body itself, with an LED light. So these are essentially your three types of battle lanterns. I can't imagine there is a type much older than this. There just weren't electric emergency lights on ships much earlier than these were being used. And this is the kind that's being used for the later part of the ship's career, and this is what modern ships have now. So these are the three different types of battle lanterns that we know exist, and the two different subversions of those, direct wired and handheld flashlight. There were other kinds of more traditional flashlights on the ship, and even the military style flashlight that's like L-headed, that's very common, that were used on board the ship. But those are not necessarily pressurized to work underwater the way these are. And so we see these everywhere. So I think one of the coolest things about these is, emergency lights is something that we're used to seeing in buildings. So for example, here's one of those modern ones I was telling you about earlier. We've seen those all over the place. So it's interesting and in some ways comforting to know that ships like this one, even though they're over 80 years old, had something similar, although unique to the naval requirements. This one isn't going to stay lit if we go underwater the way these will. What's another piece of emergency equipment that you think should be distributed around the ship? The sort of thing that you might have distributed around your workplace? Let us know in the comment section down below. Maybe we'll make a video about it in the future. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below to donate to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.